Ciao a tutti, mi chiamo Charlotte e oggi vi parlo di qualche barzelletta. Okay, so that's some jokes in Italiano, in Italian. So, I've actually written out all 5 of the jokes on this board that I was going to talk to you about, but in fact I think I'll shorten it down to 3 so that the members of my club have access to the extra 2 and also to the handout which I will be sending to club members, Italian club members, later on. It'll look something like this. Andiamo. We're going to study the content, the language content of a few jokes in Italian, just so that you can see how they're formed. So one type of joke, the first one, numero 1, is the che fa or che cosa fa type. What does something do? So, for example, che cosa fa un postino su Instagram? Che cosa fa un postino su Instagram? Okay, so let's go up here and just move slightly that up so you can see. Che cosa fa un postino? So you're gonna miss me for a little sec. Che cosa fa un postino su Instagram? This is the answer. Posta. So, what does a mailman or a postman, as we call them in Britain, do, che cosa fa, on Instagram? He posts. Okay, so that's like to post a comment or a picture, or a comment and a picture, or a video or something online. Okay, from the kind of like from the English verb to post, but it's a play on words because posta also means like the mail. The stuff that's getting sent in the mail. So this is a play on words between the verb in the third person singular present tense, and it also happens to be the noun for the post or the mail. So, che cosa fa, or che cosa plus the verb fare in like various sort of tense conjugations. Okay, that can work. What does it do? What would he do? What will it do? And then plus the subject. So, che cosa fa un postino su Instagram? Posta. He posts something. Okay, you probably saw a little snippet of the second one. So I'll just come over here and I'll say it so you can ascoltate. Listen to how it goes. See if you get it. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire? Perché? So, perché can mean because, but it can also mean why. Okay, I know that's a bit confusing. Perché, in fact we've got both here, the question and the answer with perché. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire? I don't think I've written the answer up on the board, so let's have a little look. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire? Why does the tomato not manage to sleep? Or why can't the tomato manage to get to sleep? Why isn't the tomato able to sleep? So, before I give you the answer, we've got perché. It's got a little accent that goes up over this way, an acute accent, and then il pomodoro, one of like the most famous kind of fruit. Tell me what it is. Is it a fruit, veg, or what? One of the most famous food types that are found in like lots of Italian dishes. Il pomodoro, the tomato. Non riesce a dormire. Now this riesce is the third person singular, which agrees with, in the present tense, which agrees with il pomodoro. Riuscire is to be able to do something, to manage or to succeed in doing something. So if I get my verb book, maybe I'll find there's it's also got another meaning. It's conjugated and it looks a lot like the verb uscire, which means to go out. So let me just see. Let's go out again. Riuscire. So if you've got a verb book like this, Barron's or something similar, really, really good, worth having. Yeah, so the translation for riuscire is to succeed, or in a separate kind of sense, to go out again here. So the 1, 2, 3, third person singular, he, she or it, lui, lei, kind of conjugation, is riesce, which looks like the very irregular third person singular of uscire in the present tense, but it's just got the R and the I. So if you know the verb uscire, to go out, esco, esci, esce, etc., then you'll know that that is pronounced riesce. SCE is a she sound, okay, so it's not riesce. Non riesce, not to succeed or not manage to, a dormire, to sleep. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire? So why can't the tomato manage to get to sleep? Anyone have any idea what this might be? Okay, here's the answer. Perché l'insalata russa. Oh, okay, have a little look at that. I'm just going to check something, a little spelling over here. L'insalata, perché l'insalata russa? Any idea? Okay. L'insalata russa is a Russian salad, or I think it's also called an Olivier salad. I guess it's pronounced that way, Olivier. So that's made with, I think it's made with like peas and carrots and stuff, and like a kind of white sauce, maybe it's mayonnaise. I haven't looked into it, but l'insalata russa is a Russian salad. Insalata russa, Russian. Adjective, nationality actually as well, with an A because it's agreeing with l'insalata. But why is that funny? What does it mean? L'insalata russa. So here we have the noun and its adjective, which is a famous-ish salad, if you're into your salads or your food. But russa, again, is also the third person singular of the verb russare, which is apparently something I do now and then. A small nose. It's to snore. So when you go like this, when you're sleeping. Okay, it's not very nice, is it? So why does the tomato not manage to get to sleep? Because the salad is snoring. Okay, that's a funny one, right? But it also means because the Russian salad. I think that's really funny. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire. So riuscire is the verb there. Russa or insalata russa, that's also a useful little verb from russare. And here we have posta, which is the verb postare, to post. So a really useful kind of modern one. Okay, let's look at this one here. We might have time for more than I thought actually. Andiamo, vediamo, okay? So, qual è la città preferita dei ragni? Actually, we've got a bit of a theme between this one and that one actually. So have a little look at it. Qual è la città preferita dei ragni? Sorry to be typing over here, I'm just checking a few things. Okay. Okay. Dei ragni. First of all, before we actually look at what this means, what the answer is, let's identify some language stuff. So dei, D-E-I, that's a combined preposition, or an articulated preposition, which basically means that you've got the preposition di and the article I combined to become a slightly different word. So that tells me that this is a masculine plural noun, although the I at the end of it might have also given that away. Un ragno. Io non mi piacciono molto I ragni, non mi piacciono davvero molto. No, non mi piacciono. So, I ragni is spiders. So, I ragni, così, just with the little I. Can you see the I? No, you can't see the I there. If it was just I ragni così, little I, it would mean spiders. But because it's of the, or of spiders, plural, di becomes dei. Di and I together become dei. Qual è la città preferita dei ragni? Right, so another thing I want to mention here is preferita does mean preferred, but it's also the adjective which is most commonly used to mean favourite. Okay? Preferita, because it rhymes. It agrees with, in gender and number actually, with la città. So, la città preferita dei ragni. Now, qual is from quale, which means which. Instead of che, which is the interrogative question word, if you like, which normally means what in English, qual or quale or quali in the plural can also sometimes translate as what. However, if you think of it as meaning which, if you're an English speaker, a native English speaker, then qual or quale it basically means which, and it's used when there's, you know, a choice of a selection. There is more than one city in the world, so using qual it makes sense because you've got a selection of more than one. Okay, qual è la città? This accent over the A is something that you see a lot, often on like the end of feminine nouns, libertà, but also sometimes over an I, lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, etc. And you just put a stress emphasis on that last syllable, la città. So it's not a long vowel sound. Qual è la città preferita, agreeing with that, dei ragni? So, what is the preferred or spider's favourite city? Which is the favourite city of spiders? You could translate this in lots of ways, but it would be something along the lines of, in English, what is a spider's favourite city? You'd probably put the spider in the singular. Anyway, anyone got any idea? So think of the Russian link with insalata russa, okay, and maybe look at this little picture here. Okay. Una città che si chiama Mosca in italiano. Okay, Mosca is Moscow. Moscow. Mosca. Mosca vuol dire anche fly, as in a little winged insect. The type of insect, obviously, that spiders like to eat. So, that's a play on words. We've got the name of a place, a city, but also the name of an animal there, or a little insect. Qual è la città preferita dei ragni? Mosca. Perché il pomodoro non riesce a dormire? Perché l'insalata russa. Ok, russare. Che cosa fa? Che cosa fa un postino su Instagram? Posta. He posts. Okay, we've got a little bit of time left. I'm going to go... No, I will do this one. I'll do this last, the long one that I've got on the board. So, this is like a little story. Un signore incontra il vicino di casa sulle scale. So, a man, a gentleman, if you like, meets his neighbour, un vicino di casa, someone who lives near him, sulle scale, on the stairs, on the steps. Sai, gli dice, you know, he says to him. Gli dice is a useful little one. To him, he says, ieri mi è caduta la radio sul piede. Yesterday, the radio fell on my foot. Il vicino, preoccupato, so the neighbour, worried, said, Ti sei fatto male? Ti sei fatto male? Did you hurt yourself? No. Per fortuna, no, luckily, or fortunately, in quel momento stavano trasmettendo musica leggera. Now, luckily, at that time, they were broadcasting light music. Ma è divertente, no? I thought that was really good. So, un signore incontra il vicino di casa sulle scale. So, incontrare is like to meet. Il vicino is an adjective, to be near to or close. But vicino, il means the male neighbour. La vicina means the female neighbour. Di casa sulle scale, look, we have a combined or an articulated preposition here. Su plus le becomes sulle. Scale, stairs or steps. Sai, that means you know. You know what? Guess what? That kind of thing. Li dice. Now, li dice, li is an indirect object pronoun, which means to him. So this is a useful one to remember. If it was two female neighbours on the steps talking to each other, this would say le dice. You know, she says to her, ieri mi è caduta la radio sul piede. Now this is a difficult thing to get your head around. So the radio on my foot fell on me. So we've got this mi pronoun, è caduta. So cadere, ERE verb, cadere is to fall normally. Mi sono caduta. But when it's used in this way, with a preposition, a pronoun like mi è caduta plus the subject, it means it was dropped. It fell basically. Instead of I fell, sono caduta, io. No, it still means to fall. It still means to fall. It's just that the subject is different. So, mi sono caduta, I fell down. Mi sono caduto, I fell down for a guy. Sono caduta. Getting mixed up with this. But the mi è caduta agrees with la radio. Now la radio is short for la radiografia, which is a feminine noun, but it's shortened down to la radio. And I think in the last video I talked about some nouns that have that end with an O, but are feminine, and la radio is one of them. At some point we'll come back to this cadere thing, but it's a verb that takes essere, and therefore the past participle agrees with whatever it is that's fallen. So, sul piede, on my foot. So, instead of saying sul mio piede, we've got the mi and we've got the sul, and then we've got piede. So, that's one of the ways that Italians talk about hurting their foot. They don't have to say on my foot and put mio in there, the possessive. Anyway, il vicino preoccupato, here we have another one, bit like preferito, preferita. Preoccupato describes the neighbour. Worried, concerned. Let's go up a little bit. Asks, ti sei fatto male. So ti is a reflexive pronoun. Sei, you always conjugate reflexive verbs with essere, so that's the to form. Fatto, farsi male is to hurt yourself or do yourself harm, if you like. Get hurt, yeah, something like that. Fatto is the regular past participle of fare, so ti sei fatto male, did you hurt yourself? No, per fortuna, no, luckily. In quel momento, at that point, or at that time, at the time, if you like, stavano trasmettendo, they were broadcasting, transmitting, musica leggera, they were broadcasting light music. So the funny bit here is the light music, as in light, it didn't hurt my foot, light music, you know, jazz, something easy listening stuff. So that's a kind of play on the sense of the meaning, and also the phrase like music, you know, which means something. So it's kind of something, I don't know what kind of how that joke is based, but it's two different senses. One is a little bit, what's the word, not bizarre, non-logical, illogical, there you go, nonsensical, eccolo. It's a nonsensical kind of observation, it's funny. and also play on words. Now here we've got stare trasmettendo in the imperfect. They were playing stavano trasmettendo. That's in the they loro form. Plus an ERE verb, trasmettere, to transmit, broadcast, put out. There's other words that it can be translated as well. But that's to do with sort of broadcasts, digital, not digital, radio, TV, that kind of thing. ERE verbs in the gerund form go to endo, and stare and verbs that end in the gerund form translates as they were or it was, I was doing something. I think that's probably all we've got time for, but there's a great one at the end. So if you're interested, or if you've managed to see what it was that was on the bottom of that flip chart, then you'll probably find that it's quite a funny little joke. But if you're a member of my club, you'll be getting this in your email later anyway. There's also a link in there to lots and lots of online jokes which are in Italian, which are really funny, I think. Some of them are quite hard, but some will certainly be suitable for beginners and intermediate speakers. So yes, what we've got there, we've got some useful verbs like riuscire, to manage to do something, postare, to post, as in like to make a post online, cadere, to fall, which is used with essere in the past tense. We've got the indirect object pronoun li and le, with verbs like dire, to say to him says. Le dico, for example, would be I say to her. Li dico, I say to him. Then we've got stare plus a gerund form with stavano trasmettendo, and we've got some combined articulated articles, prepositions like dei, sulle, sul, etc. And we've also got some just laughing at silly jokes. We've also got some adjectives which are common and very useful, but remember they agree with the whatever you're discussing. So la città preferita, the favorite or the preferred city. Preoccupato, concerned, worried. So if it was una donna, she would be una donna preoccupata. Okay, so and also musica leggera. Let's go down here and show you that. Scusa, cosa succede? Eccolo. La musica leggera. So leggera literally means light, as in the opposite of heavy. Pesante is heavy. Ooh, that's one of the adjectives that ends with an E. But leggero, leggera, means light. And so because musica is feminine, it agrees at the end with an A in the adjective. Okay, because that happens. Hopefully that's very useful. Grazie mille. Leave me some Italian jokes if you'd like to in the comments, Cosa, eccomi. And if you want to join my Italian language club, we have a monthly video which I send out every first Tuesday of the month. You'll get a sheet that I created, some links, exercises, activities, and then you can always get in touch with me if you have any questions. When possible, there'll also be meeting opportunities to meet with other club members again, but that's kind of on hold for the time being until it's easier to organise. But maybe we can organise something online soon. Mi piacerebbe molto. I would really like that. Grazie e alla prossima volta. Ciao!